bummed out in the Bronx. The Astros just missed getting a victory. The Rangers won today, so they needed to keep pace. Just wasn't happening. 1-for-8 with runners in scoring position. A rough start by Javier to kind of set the tone. And we're going to talk about this game and what they need to do the next 3 games to walk away with the series win and hopefully inch closer and maybe take the lead from the Texas Rangers on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Vierling's back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day, even if they lose in the Bronx, that's okay. It's just one game. They can go back and get them tomorrow. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
This episode of Locked On Astros is brought to you by eBay Motors. A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. So for parts that fit, head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in a game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items apply. Exclusions apply. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. It's amazing how many of y'all have tuned in and listened to us over the past 3 or 4 days. We have done a lot of shows, and we hope that you stick around. We hope that you become an everydayer and subscribe to us on YouTube and go ahead and turn on your notifications and go and give us a big thumbs up. Why don't you go and do that right now while you're watching this, and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check it out. And today's game was not that great. I know we just went coming off sweeping the Guardians, but Cristian Javier had some highs, some lows, striking out. Aaron Judge was high. I think he did, or somebody struck out Judge. That was a great moment of the game. He had Martin Maldonado 3 for 3. It seemed like he was getting hits to exact same spot. Like, if he's hitting over there, why don't you go and play over there? But Pena, I know that you kind of were interested in why he's batting second. So I put that there. And Verlander will start when? And then what's next for the Houston Astros? So that's some of the topics we'll be discussing on this Locked On Astros.
Yeah, look, the Astros are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. That is simply not going to get it done. And 2 of those 8 at-bats were with Jeremy Pena, and runners in scoring position both times. That is not very invigorating. That's not very exciting. And no offense to Jeremy Pena, but the announcer's talking about, well, he was a World Series MVP. He was an ALCS MVP. That doesn't mean anything now. Past awards, past accolades. I mean, look, Max Scherzer went out and laid a freaking egg in Arlington, didn't even dominate, but his team still found a way to win. These guys have got to back each other up. And I think someone mentioned it here. We did win those 3 games against Cleveland, but it wasn't with a ton of offense. We did it with solid pitching. And early on, Eric, it looked like it was going to be a shellacking. I mean, it looked like they were going to get 6, 7, 8 runs before you looked. And he only gave up 3 runs in that first inning. I do not think that is Martin Maldonado's cousin or friend. He just happened to have the same name. No, trust me, if you want this team to be out of playoff contention, you would start us in the field. Someone literally put a comment up here saying we should start Brett and Eric. I appreciate the sentiment. But look, Maldonado was 3 for 3. And you know how his team rewarded him? By not getting him in. And you can't do that in games like this. 5 innings pitched by Clark Schmidt, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. They should have done more damage. The Astros had 9 hits, Eric. They had 9 hits and 3 runs. The Yankees had 5 hits and 4 runs. That's production. 2 of those hits were home runs. That's production. Left on base, they had 7 left on base. Again, they were 1 for 8. Your recap is the offensive struggles continue. This is typically a place where the Astros offense takes off. I really like that Chas McCormick got on late in the game, but I would have preferred an opposite field home run. And I can tell you this, the last pitch of the game was a masterful plan by the Yankees pitching coach when he went out there, talked to his pitcher on the mound, and he said, keep the ball up, make sure Altuve can't get on top of it, and he threw the sinker high and inside. If that ball is over the middle of the plate, a little bit lower, Altuve demolishes that pitch every time. But the sinker was so high in the zone, he was not able to get on top of it, was not able to put a solid enough swing. And look, he's the guy you want up there. You want Altuve up there. He's crushed this team before. He owns the Yankees. And that's what's going to happen. This is baseball, and it has the ability to humble you very, very quickly. I just think all around, not a good game, not a great game. More than likely, I just think you just hang this up. You know what? You got to put it behind you, and you live to fight another day.
Yeah. And there's some good things in this game, like Martin Maldonado. He was 3 for 3. Then you had a whole bunch. You have Kyle Tucker with his blast. Altuve did get a hit. He had a stolen base as well. You had McCormick with a hit, Abreu with a hit, Alvarez with a hit. Then you had Dubon with a hit to kind of set up the drama, like you said, in the 9th inning. But Graveman's walk, I know that was kind of one that kind of led to the run. And unfortunately, walks are a killer. Actually, Graveman looked like he was under control. He came in and kind of got Cristian Javier out of a jam in the 5th inning because Javier only pitched 4 2/3 innings. He allowed 3 earned runs on 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs, back-to-back home runs earlier in the game. He only allowed 4 hits. So it's not like he was they were dominating him. It just his command was not there. The walks to strikeouts. I mean, he threw 102 pitches. He threw 60 strikeouts. 42 of them were balls, but that actually improved.
You
from
mean 60 strikes?
Yeah, 60. Yeah.
Oh, you said 60 strikes. I know what you meant. No, and so look, Eric, here's the deal. With those 10 hits, those are great. But if those 10 hits don't produce at least 6 to 8 runs, 10 hits don't mean anything to me. Kendall Graveman, like I saw someone trying to put this on Kendall Graveman. Now, this isn't Kendall Graveman's fault. Kendall Graveman gave up 1 run. And Graveman, Montero, and Montero, if you want to talk about something good, Montero came in. Yeah, he had 2 walks, but he got out of the inning. He didn't give up a run. He didn't give up a home run. I was like, oh, man, Dusty's throwing in the white flag. He's throwing in the towel. He's putting in Montero. Montero did a good job. Matan did a good job. You need your relief pitchers performing. But your offense absolutely has to come out of this with more than just a home run from Kyle Tucker. You know, Martin Maldonado did get an RBI. Myers got 1. Tucker got 1. But Jeremy Pena in the 2-hole. I get it. And we talked about it. We were kind of pushing for it. Now, when I look at hitters 1 through 5, I'm going to give you OPS of the top 5 hitters, and I want you to tell me which one is Jeremy Pena, and I'm going to go out of order. 1,003, 890, 768, 862, 663. Which one of those OPSs is Jeremy Pena?
I mean, it's very obvious which one Jeremy Pena is. It's the last one.
It's a 663. He's hitting, and then you've got Chas McCormick, 916, Diaz on the bench with 802. I mean, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I think that I'm not saying the batting order lost the game because you still have to get hits no matter where you are.
Right.
But you can't be 2 of the 8 opportunities where you were 1 for 8, or actually 2 of the 7 where you didn't produce a run. Pena's got to find it. He's got to find that level that he found last year. He's got to snap out of it. He's got to make the adjustment. He's too susceptible to the low curveball. If I'm up there pitching, I'm not throwing him a single fastball. I'm throwing him everything low and in the dirt, hoping he swings out of his shoes to get it. Yeah. It's just he's too easy to pitch to right now.
Yeah, this was since Pena was put in a 2-hole on 725. His WRC plus has been plus 127, which is above a major league average major league player. So, yes, I understand where you're looking at, but him hitting in between those guys is actually leading to him to having better performance. And we can continue this conversation in a second, but it just I think my question mark is Alvarez batting fifth. That's
Yes,
kind of a weird little situation you have yourself in there, but it is kind of how it is. So you got to have the right parts for the bullpen, for your lineup, and that's what the Astros are starting to get after the trade deadline. And this episode is
exactly.
brought to you by eBay Motors.
Yeah, for a championship team, it's all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors with eBay Guaranteed Fit. You can be sure that every part you need fits just right the first time around. You add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know that your part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game. When you shop at eBay Motors, and with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices at ebaymotor.com. Let's ride. eBay guaranteed fit only. Only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Make sure that you watch the Astros play the Yankees. You listen to the Astros play the Yankees Friday night, 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with the Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
Yeah, looking at that double play that Pena hit into, that was a killer at that situation, and it was. I
Okay, I
think
have a
you had,
question about that.
yeah.
Is it just me, or did he look like he wasn't full on sprinting? I know I'm being nitpicky here, but did it look like he slowed up before the ball? Like, I feel like he could have beat that throw out.
I know I saw that comments in the chat. I think I was a little bit more frustrated over what happened in that situation. I was I was just like and just
Well, I can tell you he
track.
let up. I can tell you
Okay.
he let up. I remember watching Usain Bolt in some of his races where it was just a heat race. He wasn't racing the final race, and he would pull up. Like, he could have broken his record like 3 or 4 times in the prelims and in like one of the Olympics. He looked like, I'm just going to pull up. I don't know. Again, being nitpicky, I'm glad that someone said it, because I felt like maybe I was just being a little too choice with my criticism.
Yeah. So I know Friday's game or the next game. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Friday tomorrow. So
It is.
tomorrow's
You're right.
game is going to be on Apple TV, and going back to school sucks. But tomorrow's game is going to be on Apple TV. And if y'all go to MLB.com, and if you just maybe refresh your cache or clear everything, you might get something that says get a 2-month free Apple TV subscription.
Oh, wow.
So some of y'all could do that. So you might even see it on your app. So try to do that before you actually have to pay for it. I mean, there are some good shows on there. I actually started watching Hijack, and Hijack's a pretty good show. So I'm going to go ahead and subscribe again just to get caught up with that show. But
there's a little thing called a VPN too, then you could use. So
yeah. So, but I know that if you're looking at today's game, there's a lot of things that you could say go wrong. It was the 7 runners that were left on base. It was the 1 for 8 and runners in scoring position. It was just the defense wasn't terrible, but there was nothing that just wowed us. But Cristian Javier, once again, he didn't look like he was extremely hittable, but he was just not himself. The 3 walks, the Astros had 6 walks overall. Graveman had that 1 that led to the run, and Montero had the 2 that we've already kind of talked about that. But it just, the little things when you play a team like the Yankees are going to catch up against us. And I was hoping that the Astros would do something against Michael Keane, because Michael Keane was the guy that earlier in the year kind of badmouthed the Astros and saying that we're not worried about the Astros. They're not our kryptonite and everything. So, but I think that this was a team that needed a win, but the Astros, I think, will do better tomorrow. Hunter Brown's going to be on the mound. So before we move on to that, Pena, are you still anti him batting second? What do you want to do with the lineup? Yeah. What does Brett Chancey want to do with the lineup?
I want Alex Bregman in the 2-hole.
Okay.
I want Alex Bregman in the 2-hole. I want Kyle Tucker hitting third. I want Yordan Alvarez hitting fourth.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do two lefties back to back.
Okay, well, they did it earlier in the season. Yes, they did. They were doing it.
Dusty's not.
Hey, okay. Oh, Eric, you asked me what I wanted, and then you tell me they're not going to do that. So what do I want to do? I want Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez hitting back to back. I want Bregman back in the 2-hole. I want Kyle Tucker in the 3-hole. I want Alvarez in the 4-hole. I want Chas McCormick in the 5-hole. I want Abreu in the 6-hole. I want Pena no higher than 8th. Period. End of story. I'm sorry, Pena. Earn your spot. Get back up. Get out there and earn your spot. I want Diaz. I want Diaz at DH batting behind Abreu. I mean, or heck, put Diaz 9th to where he's batting in front of Altuve, but let him bat more than one bat, you know? Someone goes, Brett, calm down. No, look, I don't know that there's a magical formula or a magical lineup, but when these guys hit back to back to back, it seems like it works pretty well. So, but you asked me what I wanted, that's what I want.
Well, here's the answer. I think that if you look at Pena, I think for him to start succeeding, him batting second would be the keep him there. But if you want to put the best hitter as of right now, the one that's been the hottest, that's got to be Chas McCormick. Put Chas McCormick up there. And he makes good contact.
In the 2-hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he makes good contact. He's got a 916 OPS. He's got a good batting average. Why not move? Why is he hitting so far down in the lineup? That would be my opinion. Yeah.
Well, that's why when I started talking about the OPS. Look, at the end of the day, again, it's not necessarily as a player, it's not where you hit, it's what you do with where you hit. But in the pros, there's more of a counter to that argument, okay? Because the pitchers have plans and the pitchers are professionals. And so if there is more protection, logic would say, yes, protect him so he sees more fastballs. I don't know if you know, he's not getting a lot of fastballs. He's hitting in the 2-hole. They sure are throwing him a ton of breaking pitches. So the fastballs aren't exactly populating by theory or by action. And it's okay, everybody. I'm fine. No, I stepped off the camera because my son was playing his VR and he was starting to be real loud, and I made him go to the front room or he was going to be grounded. So
we couldn't hear it, but Stokey.
I know you couldn't, but I could.
Stokey brings up good point. You know how when somebody has a good day, they normally sit them. So now that Martin Maldonado had a 3-for-3 day, that means they're going to sit him tomorrow. And so all Astros fans are like, yay!
Well, also Hunter Brown, the last time Hunter Brown pitched, it's going to be Diaz.
I was trying to be funny there.
Right. I know you were. Hey.
Jerk.
So look, here's the deal, man. At the end of the day, I'm not upset. Like, look, I'm just trying to make my point. I'm just trying to emphasize things that to me look obvious from the outside looking in. I'm not Dusty. I'm not the team that has all the breakdowns and all the numbers, and I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I know better than a Major League Baseball team. Now, some people out there in social media do that. They love acting like they know more or they know better than the pros. That's never me. But when I see something that I feel like doesn't fix it, you know how Dusty talks about having a hunch, having a feeling? I had a feeling. I had a hunch. I think, like, when I saw Jeff Bagwell talking to Pena during spring training, and he's like, hey, keep your hands up, and he's behind him kind of coaching him, and he was making better contact, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe Bagwell needs to be in the dugout reminding Pena, hey, when you get up there, keep your hands up, because he's been dropping his hands a lot. Pena to me looks flustered at the plate. He doesn't look comfortable. And you talked about Javier. Javier looks tired. He looks out of shape. He looks physically worn out. He looks like he's labored for 20 innings every time he goes out to pitch. And I don't know if it's the pressure of the contract that he signed. I don't know if he's just off mentally, But can we get Framber's sports psychologist over to Javier's room tonight in the hotel so they can talk him down? I feel like something's going on with Javi between the ears, and that's why he's not as effective as he's been in the past.
Yeah. And I'll agree with Greg Myers here that he's not upset with today's game one bit. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Yeah, the Yankees outplayed the Astros today. They crushed. I think the one that Stanton hit was a inside kind of middle of the plate inside pitch.
Oh, it was a meatball.
Right
and then
inside.
the other home run was inside, was middle on the other side of the plate. I mean, he was serving it up, and oh my gosh, the gushing over Aaron Judge is so nauseating. Just having Aaron Judge on your team, you're just better. And I'm like, oh my God, like the Aaron Judge. Oh geez, that guy, like you would think this guy walked on water or something there in New York. But man, when they put that lineup up, look, at least we're not the Yankees. Let's just say that they are battered, they are beat up, they are injured. Let's not forget we've got Justin Verlander back.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And I do want to address Greg Myers. He did say, well, maybe we should go ahead and put Alvarez batting third. Let's go and talk about that again in a second. But this episode is brought to you by Hooters, and Hooters makes you
happy. Yeah, it does. So when you're stressed out from a game and you do not want to worry about who's hitting where, go to Hooters. Watch the Astros game from there. Eric and I love to go there. They've got some great deals. And no matter where you are, Sugar Land, Katy, Humble, Stafford, Galveston, Baytown, anywhere in between, even Pearland or Pasadena, go check out Hooters. And let me tell you, the NASA store has a Ditch Day bus trip on the 24th of August this month versus the Red Sox. If they still have tickets, you'll have to go by and ask Rosie. And then coming up on the 5th, here in a couple days, ain't no thing but a chicken wing tailgate in their parking lot. They have events. It'll be a blast. Register your cook team. And just know that every day, anytime, they have $3 Blue Moon drafts or $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. No matter the occasion, Hooters is ready to make you happy. So if you're there tomorrow on Friday, every Friday is $19.83 crab legs. And the kids eat free this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So check out Hooters. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy. The Astros play the Yankees Friday at 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. But, Eric, something I've learned real quick, I just want to say this. This is my 4th season. I believe this is your 5th season, and you even talked Astros before Locked On came along and brought you on board. But something I've learned over like we literally focus on every game, and sometimes it can get tough. And the way I've learned to cope with it is I may have some emotion about a game. I may be frustrated, but at the end of the day, who's not upset, who's not frustrated, or I guess they're upset. They hate losing. The team doesn't go to the hotel and stew, and like we as fans sit around and complain around the fire and get upset, and we talk crap and we say how this player, anytime a player does bad, DFA him, send him to the minors, But the players, what do? They show up the next day and they do their job. And so I have trust in this team, and I still believe in this team. I am in no shape think that this team is out of it. I've never once doubted their playoff run, and I've never doubted that they're going to be the favorites to go to the World Series for the American League. So I just want to say that I make points with emotion to make points, not because I'm like teetering on insanity. So thank y'all for looking out for me there, though. I'm good.
Yeah, tomorrow's game is on Apple TV Plus, so you do need to have subscription or there are some ways to work around it. So just try to work on that. But yes, the Astros have Hunter Brown on the mound, so it's likely going to be Yainer Diaz behind the plate anyway. So I think I forgot who's going to be on the mound for the Yankees. Oh, it's going to be Jordan Montgomery. It's going to be pitching his first game for no. I'm thinking the Rangers. Montgomery's pitching for the Rangers tomorrow, but I forgot who's pitching for Yankees.
Okay, I got it right here. Severino is pitching against Brown tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's Luis Severino. He's 2-5 with a 7.45 ERA.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything because a lot of times Astros make high ERA guys. Look, hey, with Severino going on on Friday, and then Saturday you have Cortez going against Verlander. And then on Sunday, have they announced the pitcher for Sunday? Jose Urquidy?
No, but it depends on
Well,
the bullpen.
it shows Jose Urquidy and
Okay.
Rodon for Sunday. So I like our chances. Rodon is 1-4 since he's coming back, 6.29 ERA,
Right.
not pitching very well at all. Cortez is a mess. I call him Mester Cortez instead of Nestor Cortez because he is not the nasty Nestor when he first came up. He's more like Mester. He is, that dude is, you don't know what he's going to do. I like the Astros' chances. I really think they can easily take the next 3. In these games, I think you score 4, maybe 5 runs, and I think that gets it done. And I believe our pitching staff can hold it down.
So Justin Verlander did join the Houston Astros today. There's a whole bunch of hugs, a lot of reunions, and everybody literally loves Justin Verlander. And he did say that the Houston was the number 1 choice for him, and that the Mets never came up to him and said, "Hey, we're going to need you to waive your no trade clause to go to this team or this team." It was always the Astros, and they never approached him with another one. So basically, he said about the AL West race, I think it's pretty clear we're going to have to fight for it. And he did say before the game that he thinks he's going to start on Saturday, and Dusty Baker confirmed it later. And like you said, Urquidy is probably going to pitch on Sunday if the bullpen session goes fine, which I think it did. So basically, the Astros have a lot to do. And apparently, I think Ken Rosenthal said that the Red Sox were one of the teams that went after Verlander. So
They
that
were,
would have been a weird fit.
Yeah, but Justin Verlander, I don't think ever entertained any of those other teams. Even when I heard the Rangers were also going after Verlander as well as Scherzer. But what turned the tide for the Astros was the Rangers getting Scherzer. My question to Dana Brown would be, if I had him here in this room with us, if the Rangers had not traded for Max Scherzer, would you have entertained the idea of bringing Verlander back? Because the way he has worded, and he's told the story 3 or 4 times, it was like once they traded Scherzer, I went running to Jim Crane's office. I knew the door was open because I saw how they were getting it done. It's like, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And we get them at a discount. They basically paid us $60 million for 2 unproven prospects. And you can say what you want about Clifford and Gilbert. They still haven't done anything. And now the Astros have the highest percent in the last 10 years of prospects that have become major league players, 23%, Eric. No other team's done that. So look at the prospects we send to other teams. All the guys that were in that Verlander trade, they're all gone. They're DFA.
Franklin Perez was just released today.
Yeah, he was done. And then, Rojas is the only one remaining really in the majors out of the Zach Greinke trade. Colin Moran was the only decent guy that the Pirates got when we got, was that for Musgrove or for Cole? But my point is, we develop our guys. Other teams, the Mets, don't. So they paid $60 million for guys that they may not actually develop. And I'm not saying I wish anything bad for those 2 guys. I mean, I hope they go on and have great careers. But I like what we did. I like the money that we're not paying him. And I think it's going to bode well for us in the end. Even if he doesn't pitch a ton his very last year, we got him for the next 2.5 years for $29 million. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. So there's got to, going back to the whole who should bat third talk. I don't know if I'm sure Dusty Baker would say, "Don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing." I'm sure there's some analytics.
Of course he would.
Yeah. But I just feel like I think Greg brought up earlier, I think teams fear Alvarez a little bit more than they do Tucker. He's more of an imposing presence. And I think that maybe they're kind of pitching Pena a little bit differently. So maybe if you have Alvarez hitting third versus Tucker, and trust me, I would actually like to have the 2 lefties back to back, Alvarez, then Tucker. Try to have your best hitters hitting in the first 4. With that, if that's the case, then go ahead and have you need to in first 5. Go ahead and move Chas McCormick up. Let's try to capitalize on if you're going to have the top of the order get on. don't have somebody he's not automatic out, but somebody that struggles. So I think move Chas McCormick up. I know you want to extend the lineup a little bit, but it's just something that I wish that Dusty Baker will do. I don't think he will.
But with all these guys in the lineup, Yordan Alvarez, sorry, Myers. Yordan Alvarez should be in left field. Diaz should be DH. I know he doesn't hit as well when he's DHing. Or, you know what? DH Abreu and put Diaz at first. What is wrong with that? Diaz played a lot of first base in AAA, and they haven't really given him a chance to do that. If you need, and I know they're like, well, you know, what if you need to pinch hit for Maldonado late? Well, you kind of made that choice. You got two catchers, but if the guy hits better when he's in a position, okay, well then put him in as catcher. Tomorrow he'll be in there as catcher.
Yeah.
And so we're not here debating, you know, Maldonado over Diaz, who's better. But Maldonado did throw a runner out after dropping a ball. That was nice to see. So let's just come back and get these next three.
What's Greg Kessinger doing for the Astros? Just bring up Cesar Salazar and just have the third catcher. What's Greg Kessinger doing?
You could. No, right. You could. Or heck, promote CJ Stubbs if he starts doing well enough. I don't know if he would be ready, but they have that option as well. So
I think that September will be John Singleton season, maybe. So we'll see.
But if you bring him up, he's got to stay or he's gone. He's got no options once he comes up. I don't see Singleton. I don't see Dearden. This is what I see. This team's going to batten down the hatches. They know what's up. The eye on the prize is October and November, and that's what we're going for. Just like myself and Eric Huysman and you guys that are champions, thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. Thank y'all for helping calm me down. I appreciate it. He's Eric the Man Huysman, and we are your only daily Astros podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make us your first listen every single day. Tell him, Eric.
Go Astros, and I can't wait to see what Justin Verlander pitch on Saturday for the Houston Astros. Once again, go Astros.
Go Astros.